So hello all, in this video we are going to solve the problem of kids with the greatest number of candies. The problem statement is, there are n kids with candies. You are given an integer array candies where each candies of I represents the number of candies the ith kid has. And apart from that, you are also given an integer extra candies denoting the number of extra candies that you have. We have to return a boolean array. The name of the array is result, where result of I is true if after giving the ith kid all the extra candies, they will have the greatest number of candies among all kids, or false otherwise. The problem statement is simple. You are given an extra candies. If you give that extra candies to the ith kid, then if that ith kid's candies become greater than all the other kids, for that ith kid inside the result array, we must return true. How can we solve this problem? Also, one thing to note is, multiple kids can have the greatest number of candies. So there can be 2, 3 or more kids having greatest number of candies. The intuition to solve this problem is, first we will calculate the max value from the candies array. First, we will calculate the max value from the candies array. Then, second, we will add extra candies to candies of I, and when we add this, if this addition, that is extra candies plus candies of I is greater than or equal to max, then result of I is true, else result of I is false. This is the intuition. First, we will have to calculate the max value. Calculate the max value from the candies array, and then secondly, add extra candies to each candies of I element, and if that addition becomes greater than equal to max, then result of I is true, else result of I is false. When we do this, the time complexity that we achieve, the time complexity is big O of 2n, since we are doing 2 passes, one for calculating the maximum element and the other one for adding extra candies to each element of the candies array, which is approximately equal to big O of n, and then the space complexity is nothing but big O of 1, as we are only using space for max variable. Now let us look at this in practice. Here I am on VS Code. Let me create the file candies.js. I'll name the function as extraCandies or greatest number of candies. Greatest number of candies. Now this function accepts 2 arguments. First is the candies array and second is extraCandies. As per the intuition, we are supposed to calculate the max value. Let us initialize max equal to the first element of candies array. Now, using a for loop, that is for let I equal to 0, I goes to less than candies dot length, and then I plus plus. Here we check if candies of I is greater than max, then update the max value to be equal to candies of I. So first step is done. In the second step, we have to add extra candies to each candies of I element and check if that is greater than or equal to max. If yes, then we will push a true value into the results array. Let us declare the result array. So here again, I'm writing a for loop for let j equal to 0. Then j will run from 0 to less than candies dot length j plus plus. Here we check if candies of j plus extra candies is greater than equal to max, then we say result of I is equal to true. Else result of I is equal to false. And at last we return result from the function. We return result from the function. How can we call this? So let me call this function greatest number of candies, and I will pass in the candies array to be. Let me pick that value from LeetCode. So here I have an example. This is a candies array 23513. 23513 and extra candies is 3. Extra candies is 3. So instead of returning the result, what we will do? We will console.log the result here. Result is result. Okay. Let me save this. Let me open the terminal. So from the terminal, what I'll do? I'll run node candies.js. So reference error I is not defined. Okay, here it is I. Okay, here we are using I. We should use J. So this will fix the reference error. Let me rerun the code again. Again, it's showing reference I is not defined. Where are we using I? Result of I equal to true. Okay, I haven't saved the file. So the result is true, 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 false, true. Let us verify this from LeetCode. So it shows the result to be true, 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 false, true. And what have we got? We have got true, 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 false, true. So yes, our code is working as expected. So at last, to summarize the solution, if at all you are given a task to find out the kid with the greatest number of candies, first you calculate the maximum value from the array. Secondly, you add the extra candies to each element of the array, and if that addition is greater than or equal to the maximum value which you have got in the step 1, then you push a boolean true into the results array. Else you push a boolean false into the results array. The time complexity of this approach is big O of 2n, which is approximately equal to big O of n, and the space complexity is big O of 1, which is used for assigning or storing the maximum variable value. So thanks a lot. If you have learned something valuable, please do like, share and subscribe. Thank you.